Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a prom makeup tutorial. It's about that time of the year. Everybody is like pushing out prom makeup tutorials, so I thought that I'd make one. No, I'm not going to prom this year, but I am going next year. I just wanted to make like a simple makeup look. I didn't want to do something that's like super intricate and detailed. I wanted this look to be very universal and go with different dresses, different colors, hairstyles, all that stuff. So this is like very basic, and also the skin portion is photo friendly. You will not get flashback with my routine, with my products, whatever it is. You are gonna look banging in flash photography as well. So if you guys want to see how I create a prom look, then just keep on watching. So clearly I already have my eyebrows done and my eyes are primed. I will have all of the products that I use listed down below if I forget to mention something or whatever it may be. So let's get started. For today's tutorial, I will be using the Morphe 350 palette. This is the original 350. Oh, just starting off, I'm going to take this shade up here, this shade right here, and that's going to be my transition color. I'm taking a really big fluffy brush just to get this color kind of everywhere. I really don't need this color to be super precise because once I add on all of the other darker colors, this is really not gonna show up that much, but you still want it to be there to be a nice fade into your brow bone. Once I have that transition down, it is very faint, but it's there and it's going to make a difference when you are adding on all of the other colors. It's just going to look a lot more seamless. So even if it looks like it's nothing, trust the process. Yeah, I'm just going to go to this shade right here. So I'm going to use a little bit of a smaller brush, but I'm really kind of doing the same motion, except this shade I'm bringing a little bit more onto this outer corner right here. So I'm getting this shade, blending it in basically the same place as I blended the transition color, but I'm keeping it the tiniest bit more focused in like the crease area, and I'm adding some of that color right onto this outer corner. I'm going with these two shades right here. I'm just going to mix them together, and I'm going to start using them to just like really deepen up that little shape that we got going on. You can't really tell, but you're about to tell. So I'm taking that on an even smaller brush, but it is still very fluffy, so it is going to blend out the eyeshadow. So I'm going to start right here on this outer corner. I'm going to kind of press. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay. I'm just going to press a little bit. And tap off the excess, and then slowly start bringing it right into my crease. So as you can see, I'm moving very slowly in very small motions because I don't just want to like immediately do all of this. It's gonna look really harsh and the colors are just not gonna blend into each other as well. So you really want to take your time, especially when you start getting to the darker colors. You want to work in small sections and build up your color. So I do have a little bit of fallout on my face, as you can see. This is why I like to do my eyeshadow before my face makeup, because especially on like prom night, you do not want to mess up your foundation, your concealer, your powder, nothing, because wiping dark brown away from your under eyes is gonna be a mess. So you definitely want to start with your eyeshadow first, so that if this happens, literally you just get a makeup wipe, take it off, and literally like it's like nothing happened. So tip for you. So I'm going back in with that second shade that we used and blending out the edges as well. So after every dark color I put, I go back in with the previous color that I used, and I do my best to blend out the edges and really blend the colors in with each other so that it looks like one flowing color, not just like color, color, color. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense when I say things, but hopefully I do. So this is basically what it's looking like right now. And I'm going to go in with one last shade, this shade right here. This is the darkest brown that's in the palette. And I'm going to go in with like this tiny, tiny little blending brush with a little bit of product. And I'm going to start to like pat it right on this outer corner to really deepen it up. Go in with some Tarte Shape Tape on a tiny little brush, and I'm gonna cut my crease. I do this all of the time, but especially for prom, I feel like this eye shape look technique like flatters so many people, so many eye shapes, skin tones, dress colors, anything, like it flatters everybody. So I love it. Okay, but when I look straight, I can tell that it looks like a little bit like wonky, like it doesn't even look straight. So I'm gonna get some more, and I'm just gonna kind of make it a little bit rounder and like higher, so when I open my eyes you can still see. I'm gonna use my finger to take away any excess product. I do not want it to be cakey because that can lead to creasing on the lid, and you don't want that. So I'm going to blend this out and also come to this outer edge right here where the concealer and the eyeshadow meets, and just really like press it into each other. So I'm actually going into another Morphe palette. This is the Morphe 25B Bronzed Mocha palette. And I'm going to go into this gold shade right here. I want to put a gold shade, but I don't want it to be too gold where it looks like kind of dark bronzy. I kind of want it to be like a white gold. So that's why I'm going to be using this shade. So I'm going to take that last shade I used, the very dark brown shade, just a tiny little bit, and I'm just going to pat it right where the matte shades and the gold shimmer like meets, just to like blend it into each other. I do not want to blend like this because I find that every time I blend like windshield wiper motions, it kind of takes away some of the product, some of like the eyeshadow that's already on there. So I'm just gonna get a little bit and just kind of pat it onto this edge right here. I'm gonna go ahead, finish this eye. I'm gonna add some mascara, some lashes. Like I said, I'll have all the products I use listed down below. And also, another disclaimer, like, you do not need to use any of the products that I'm using. Like, literally use whatever you have, or if someone's doing your makeup, like, I'm sure they have something similar to this. So don't feel like you have to like use the same exact things that I'm using. Recreate it in any way that you can. So when it comes to primer and prom night, you really want to use a primer that caters to your skin type, what your skin needs, what your skin likes. So if you are oily and you know that you get super oily throughout the night, you definitely want to use something that's going to keep you more matte and control your oils. Vice versa, if you are very dry, you want to use something that's going to really hydrate your skin so that you don't have any makeup that's clinging onto your dry patches or looks really crepey or cakey or anything. So yeah, just use a primer that you know is going to work for you. First, I'm going to use the Shamshbox photofinish primerizer. This is a primer slash moisturizer in one, so you can use this as your daily moisturizer without any makeup on, or you can put it under your makeup like I am doing now. I love this. This is one of the best primers I have because it really hydrates my skin, and I do have oily skin. Like I get pretty oily, and this like completely dries down. It doesn't make me look greasy or oily. It doesn't do anything bad for my skin. It literally just keeps my skin really plump, very hydrated without giving me more oils. So I love to use a hydrating primer. So next I'm going to use my Too Faced Primed and Peachy Cooling Matte Primer. This is a mattifying primer, and I do find that it kind of fills in my pores a little bit, so it kind of like does two things at once. So you don't need a lot, especially if you're oily like me. You don't need to really put this everywhere, just in the places that you get oily. So for me, that is the sides of my nose and right here on my cheeks. And right here on my cheeks is also where I have all of my pores as well. Not all of them, but most of them. So I'm just going to use that on my fingers, and I'm going to like pat it in so that it really sinks into the skin, really gets into those pores, really keeps me matte. And then also on the sides of my nose, I get really oily here. And I get pretty oily right here on my forehead and right above my eyebrows. I get really oily there. We are almost done for primer. I know this is like so extra for so many people, but like I said, on prom night, I want my makeup to be indestructible, long lasting, long wearing, beautiful all night. The skin prep before your makeup is probably the most important part of your makeup, because if your skin is not well prepared, it's not hydrated, does not have what it needs, your makeup, either way, as expensive as it is, it's not going to look good on your face. So that's why you need to take care of your face before you put on makeup. Trust me, trust me, trust me on this. The Mario Badescu Rose Water, and I'm just going to give my face a few sprays. And again with this, I'm just going to pat it into my skin. Honestly, my foundations never match, but in pictures you can't really tell, so. I think I'm gonna mix these two today. I feel like this is a tiny bit too dark, and this is super light on me. Like, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like really light. So I'm gonna mix a little bit of this. Okay. The shades that I have for the Milani one is 06 Sand Beige, and the one that I'm using right now for the Superstay is 220 Natural Beige. So I can't really feel it on my skin. So when I'm blending it out, like I can feel that it's a little bit thicker, just because the Milani is more of a thick formula. But once it's like all blended out into my skin, I I don't feel like I have a lot of makeup on, and I know that's a really important thing for people who don't wear like a bunch of makeup like me. Like, I know that I am a little bit crazy. I go a little bit overboard with the amount of makeup that I wear, but for people who like don't like the feeling of like so much makeup on your face, trust me, these foundations, all of the products that I'm going to use, they're just super lightweight, and they're not going to weigh down your skin. It's not going to make you feel like you're wearing like 5 pounds of makeup on. So that is a good thing to keep in mind as well. So I'm going to get this tiny little brush. It almost looks like an eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to get a little bit of the foundation right on the side, and I'm going to run it kind of close to where my eyebrow is. Like, there you go, you can see. I'm going to run it kind of close, just so that it doesn't look like right on top of my eyebrow is missing any foundation. So I'm going to use my LA Girl Pro Concealers. I would use my Tarte Shape Tape, and I might still use it if I need more coverage under my eyes. But I think for now, this is going to be okay. So right now the shades I have is Pure Beige and the Yellow Corrector. So the Yellow Corrector I put in after. If you don't want something that's as drying as Tarte Shape Tape, then try something like this. This is from the drugstore. This is like $4 or $5. That's really good. So I'm just going to use a beauty blender to blend this out. So this concealer is, wow. What did I even say? So I'm going to take some of this down my nose, on my chin, some here, brighten up my eye. So yellow is really gonna, oh my god, that looks like a lot. It's not that much. Yellow does help you correct your, does help you brighten up your complexion. Using 2 powders. They are both from the drugstore. So I'm going to be using my Coty Airspun powder in the shade Translucent Extra Coverage. I have it in a Laura Mercier container just so that it's not as messy to use. So yeah, that's the first powder that I'm going to be taking. So first I'm going to blend out my under eye creases. And then dip into the powder and really blow away the excess. And I'm going to lightly set it. I'm going to be using my Rimmel Stay Matte Long Lasting Pressed Powder in the shade Transparent. So, I don't know. I kind of want to use a sponge with this just to get more. So I'm going to actually just take my sponge and just like really lightly go over my face. Just like this. I'm also going to go a little bit on my under eyes, even though I already set there. On my forehead, the perimeters of my forehead. I know I look crazy right now. And you also want to go on your neck because you did put foundation there. So for my bronzer, I'm going to be using my Hoola Benefit Bronzer. This is my favorite bronzer of life. It's so good. I love it. I'm going to take it on the stippling brush. And I'm just going to kind of start here with little circular motions just like this. Just so that I can focus most of the product here first. As you can see, it's already giving me some structure to my face. Basically, I'm just going to do this to the other side of my face. I'm going to do my jawline, my forehead, a little bit on my nose, and I'll be right back. Okay, so you're probably like, what the hell just happened? Like, you went from 0 to 100. Yeah, so I put my bronzer everywhere that I said I was gonna put it. I also took Havana from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Medium Contour Kit, and I did a little bit of contouring, and then I did a little bit of blush. Blush, I didn't really feel like including it because I don't really think that plays into the whole flash photography kind of thing. It doesn't really do anything, it's just blush. And then I did my lower lash line with the same exact colors that I used in my crease right here, all of the matte shades. I just redid all of that under here, and I put in some mascara. I really didn't think any of that was really necessary to put in because I've done it so many times in all of my other videos that it's self-explanatory, so I just skipped through that. Just sprayed my face, so now I'm gonna apply some highlighter. It's really just a preference of like what kind of colors you like. I love gold highlights, so I'm gonna be using my absolute favorite ever high-end drugstore. This is my favorite, the Maybelline Master Chrome. And I'm just gonna put this right, oh yeah, this is beautiful, honey. So for lips, I'm going to use Anastasia Crush. I really like this formula. It is pretty long lasting. So I'm going to put this on and be right back. So I just wanted to use a color that is kind of universal. It can really go with anything. You can definitely do like a very bold lip, like a red lip, whatever you want. But I just kind of wanted this to be, like I said, very universal, to go with any dress, any hairstyle, anything. But that is basically the end of this look. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I know this was a longer video. My camera completely cut off. I had no idea what I was saying. Oh well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.